Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
Your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We are CRN.
Stay tuned. We're live in 3 minutes. We're live in 2 minutes.
We are CRN.
Stay tuned. We're live in 1 minute. Seconds until showtime. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Look at you go. The one-trip grocery champ, snooze button resistor, master sock matcher. We know the daily grind can be tough, but amidst the hustle, we see you conquer it all. And at Scooters Coffee, we believe it's the little wins that deserve some big moments of joy. So go on, embrace that tiny triumph. You master parallel parker you. Take that victory lap and savor the sweet taste of success. Scooters Coffee, you didn't just order it, you earned it.
Atwell Exterior Services, the time is now. With mortgage interest rates up, so many smart homeowners are renovating rather than moving right now, and those who hire Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville are thrilled that they did. For residential roof replacement, roof repairs, roof inspections, and more, done right by a local family business with awesome customer reviews, please visit AtwellEXTServices.com or call to set up a free inspection. Atwell Exterior Services, honesty, integrity, experience. The time is now.
I'm your overly competitive brother. I'm ready for a rematch. Game on.
I've been practicing.
What, the cello? You want me to lower the hoop?
Foul.
What are you gonna tell me again?
Foul. Yeah. Foul, bro.
Here, take a free shot. Go ahead, knock
You're
yourself
about to
out.
get served.
Seriously?
Get Allstate. Save money and be protected from mayhem, like me. Love you, Mom.
Wait till your father gets home.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Since 2018, CRN, proud to be the voice of the Clayton Comets. The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN.
It is an absolute fun time in Comets country. Why? Because on Halloween night, the Comets were finally able to slay the beast that was the Cleveland Rams with a 20-3 victory to not only pick up the Greater Neuse River 7A Conference Football Championship for the first time since 2017, a bye, and obviously overtaking the nemesis that is the Cleveland Rams. 20-3, what a big win on Friday night, and it leads us up into the road for the postseason. Yes, the Comets are on a bye this week in round 1 of state, but it felt so good. Friday night, we felt like we had to bring you the show this evening to recap it all. Coming up on the program for the November 4th edition, playoff edition of Comets Football Weekly, live from Vinson's Pub+Eatery. Coach Scott Chadwick, as always, will dive into the read of the game. Also, Bennett Jones, defensive coordinator for the Comets, talks about how the defense got them ready, stepped up to not only play the game in great Comet form, but to obviously do a phenomenal job. For the first time ever, the Cleveland Rams in football history did not score a touchdown in a game on Friday. Melissa Hubbard, the principal of the Comets, joins us to talk about all the exciting things of Comets football and the upcoming new developments of the new Clayton High School entertainment, all the athletics that are all coming of 2026 and beyond. And if that wasn't enough, flash in from a flight, running from the terminal, trying to get here to Vinson's. Kim Winslow will be here. Robbie Worrell's here. Coaches are here. Players are here. It's a fun time. Are you ready? It is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Comets Football Weekly starts right now.
Comets country, it's time. Are you ready? From football to basketball, baseball, softball, and lacrosse, and even volleyball to soccer, and so much more. From the diamond to the field and the court, it's time for Clayton Comets Athletics. And we are now on the air for broadcast coverage exclusively on CRN, the Community Radio Network.
And we have a crowd here at Vinson. Joe, make some noise. You ready? How about it? Wow, what a turnout. We were kind of expecting this, Coach. Obviously, after a big victory Friday night, can we say also what a turnout for the post-game party on Friday for Halloween?
Yeah, a lot of exciting things to celebrate.
Certainly was, for sure. 20-3, a big win for Clayton over the Cleveland Rams, and we welcome you to our coverage. Whether you are watching on our CRN YouTube channel, whether you are listening on our radio platforms, on the Community Radio Network, along with Coach Scott Chadwick, I'm Wesley Outland. Vinson's Pub+Eatery is where we are. And, hey, let's give it up to the coach. How about it? Finally beating Cleveland. How was your weekend? By the way, I know you've not been feeling well, but it's still a good weekend when you got that big win Friday, wasn't it?
Oh, it was great. It's been a great few days. Yeah, it's kind of a high. You know, I described it as, you know, when you have nights like that, when you have wins like that, those are the ones that sustain you, and those are the ones that, you know, keep you coming back. It's like you know, being like a bad golfer like I am. You know, you hit that one or two really good shots, come back and play golf some more, and you know, when you put in all the work and do everything that we do and sacrifice everything we do, when you have nights like we had the other night, it keeps you coming back. And, you know, like I said at the end of the game, though, it wasn't really about me. I was so excited to see how excited everybody else was. I was so excited to see the joy that everybody else had in what we accomplished, and that's what meant the most to me.
I said in closing on Friday night, and I know a lot of our other crew followed the same sentiments. Friday night's win was not only a victory, but it was also, I think, a healing, and it was a redemption for the town, the team, the school, the community of what has been the battle between Cleveland and Clayton since 2017.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit more than just winning a football game. I think and that's what I meant. When I said after the game, it was great to see so many people take joy in it, because I definitely think it was more than just winning a football game. I think there was a lot behind it, and a lot of healing and a lot of joy that it brought a lot of people, and it meant a lot to me, and it's what I said in the post game. One of the interviews I did was that I really wanted to bring this to everybody and do this, because I felt like this school and this community has been so good to me and my family since I got here, that I really wanted this for them.
So here's what we're going to do. We have an amazing panel of people, that are going to be live here at Vinson's Pub+Eatery for the show here tonight. People that I mentioned, like defensive coordinator Bennett Jones, principal Dr. Coach is here. Melissa Hubbard is here. Robbie Worrell might jump on here. Mark Coates might add dialogue as well. Kim Winslow, as always, with her segment presented by Allstate, is planning to come in. She's literally on the 40 heading back from the airport, heading to Vinson's right here. But obviously there's a lot of great things planned, guests that we have lined up. But anyhow, Comets are 21-1. Obviously now winning home games. Let's give them a round of applause. Winning at home, how about it? Something about winning at home is special, but obviously doing what you did at Nixon Fowler Friday night. I said this. Friday night's game is something that I think nobody will ever forget. Our children's children and the people that witnessed it Friday, whether the win or the loss, will be talking about this game, I believe, for decades to come.
The last thing I said to our players before we left the locker room to go to the field at 7:20, whatever it was, the last thing I said to them was, I need you to take this all in, I need you to look around, and I need you to get ready, because this is going to be a night that you'll never forget.
And it really wasn't. 20-3. And by the way, can we say this? We've got defensive coordinator Bennett Jones. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring him up right now. Let's go ahead and get him up. Ladies and gentlemen, a former principal of Clayton. He is a lover of Comets football. Principal Dr. Coach in the orange hat, Bennett Jones. Come on up, Bennett. As you can see, he's still got on his Halloween costume from Friday night. I figured we'd just jump right into the segment. Bennett, welcome to the show, sir. Obviously, it's great to have you joining us on the program, boss.
Thanks a lot, Wes. Great to be here. So this is not a Halloween costume.
That's right. Yeah, I just jokingly said that, right?
It's a great hat. We just wanted to wear the hat to be seen on the sidelines, make sure our kids could get the calls in. So just
that's a good color.
Yeah, it's just that's all it is.
Listen, you kind of dabbled a little bit into it when Kim interviewed you in post-game after we talked to Coach Chadwick in the 20-3 win. But I was going to toss it to both of y'all. In the years past, the losses to Cleveland from Clayton were only 2-point deficits. When y'all suited up and played them this past Friday night, Cleveland didn't have a chance to get in the end zone. And any time there was a chance to go to the end zone, Clayton stepped up in a big way and made some big stops. And by the way, I checked, double-checked, triple-checked, and even Saturday when I wasn't done, when I was finished partying from Vinson's on Friday, and checked again, Cleveland football, since its inception, has never had a game until Friday where they were not allowed to score a touchdown. 20-3. All they got was a Brody Barnes field goal, Coach, but it happened a lot, Bennett, with the defense.
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't talk a lot about the previous years. I mean, those were different teams, different games, different players in a lot of cases. And so really our focus was just on us. We talked about at the beginning of the week that from a defensive perspective, if we would just take care of the things that we control, we can't control so many other things that go on during the game, whether it's a call or whether it's, it's a a missed tackle or something like that just kind of happens during the course of the game. But if we could get lined up right, if we could be disciplined and not jump off sides and give away things, if we would to do the things that we needed to do, our mantra was to prepare to win, but execute to dominate. And the guys did a great job in executing throughout the night, and the performance spoke for itself after that.
Yeah, you point blank said, if we control what we can control on the field, the mistakes, the things that Clayton's defense and or offense have done this year has been self. It's been done by us. But if we can work on our things to make us better, then we can be dominant. And obviously you showed that by literally, there was one stance where I think Cleveland was on the 3-yard line, and the defense stepped up and not only pushed them back, but said, you're not getting in my end zone. This ain't happening tonight.
Yeah, I think it's just, any nature of a team is always about yourself and how you can prepare to make the best version of yourself show up when it comes time to kick it off. And so, I think our guys just really bought into that mantra that we would, take care of ourselves and, do the things that we were taught to do. It was really kind of calm on the sidelines. Our kids were just kind of engaged, and no matter, even after the block field goal and they get a field goal, our guys just kept playing to the next play, and they got a 1st and goal on the, a 1st and 10 on the 11, and got to the 3, and our guys were like, we'll just step up and make a play, even if we had called a couple of timeouts just to make sure we were on the right set. It's just, I thought, the awesome thing about what we did defensively was at halftime, our guys were like, hey, they make adjustments, and we were like, well, we do too. And our kids came out confident, and I think Coach said about 54 yards of offense, I think, in the second half. So we take a lot of pride in closing out games, and we closed out that game to make sure that we can have a great celebration afterwards.
Here's some of the stats from Friday's 20-3 win, with the Comets getting the victory over the Cleveland Rams to lock up the Greater Neuse River 7A conference title. Comets held the Rams to 164 yards of total offense, 52 yards in the second half, when Clayton outscored them 13-0. Comets held the Rams without a touchdown, as I mentioned, for the first time in Cleveland school history. Here's some of the big players of the game. Keyshawn Stansel had 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. Is again, by the way, he was in the news last week because he was committed to Clemson. Now he flips and he's going to Miami when he graduates from Clayton. Caden Blackwell had 3 tackles for loss and a sack. Tyler Williams had a big stop on a 4th goal play. And Aiden Smalls had 239 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. I think of Tyler Campbell, the Michael Myers of the Comets, with a touchdown. Parker Ferguson got a touchdown. What a fun night here, Coach, on Friday it was for Halloween.
Yeah, I told the guys today, and we were talking about, the offensive side of the ball and things, and, it was tough because, we were down, 2 of our better guys, our center, Weston Barth, and Terrace Hobbs, our big play guy. And River, God love him, just went in there and literally played on one leg all night and really toughed it out. So we were a little bit shorthanded. But one of the things I saw early in the game was that our defense had come to play, and I really felt very, very good about the fact that we were going to be able to hold them down. And somebody asked me to kind of change your plan a little bit, and actually it really did. I told the guys I kind of likened it to a baseball game where the 3rd or 4th inning, if you realize your pitcher has his A stuff and he's going to throw a one or give up 1 or 2 runs or throw a shutout. When your team's at the plate, it does change what you do. You might bunt a guy across. You might play for 1 run. So knowing how well our defense was playing, it did kind of change the way we ran the offense a little bit, and just trying to make sure we didn't put our defense in any bad situations and score, when we had the opportunities. And except for the issue with the field goal, we did. We got down and we scored. And, once we got the 3rd score, we knew we were in good shape.
Well, I always appreciate you scoring a couple more runs there. That was good. I made it a little bit easier there that 4th quarter, so I appreciate that.
Bennett, on a level that I have to ask you this question, because I tell people this all the time. If it wasn't for the late Marlon Lee and Bennett Jones, the community radio network would not be the voice of Comets athletics or do the things that it started from. But for the years of the past, as you being a principal, right, and Melissa Hubbard is now the principal, and we will hear from her, and she's done a fantastic job since you have left. But while you were here, all of the crazy games, the Friday nights between Clayton and Cleveland, home or away, as a coach, but also as a father, because your son Carson Jones is one of the senior quarterbacks. What did it mean just to get over that hurdle Friday night? Not on the coaching side, but on the personal level.
It was satisfying for a couple of reasons. One, I think just to see it for the kids.
Right.
In Carson's group, and I've known a lot of those kids. I coached a lot of those kids in Little League, in travel baseball, at Civitan, saw them in middle school. And so to see that group really kind of exercise a lot of those demons and to win a conference championship as well was huge. I think that was a part of it. The personal aspect of it and everything, yes, it really was just for everybody else. I mean, my thoughts went back to the Hunter Jinks of the world. It went back to the Eddie Prices. It went back to the players and who came up, the John Montagues and the people that didn't get to experience that. And I think it was so special for all those guys to be able to kind of do that for those guys as well. We've had some really good teams, and they've had some really good players at at Cleveland and have done some good things with what they've done. And so it just was a satisfying part from that aspect of it. You talk about that, the start of CRN, and I think this was kind of always the vision, was that football and sports and athletics have a big deal at Clayton, but Clayton has so much to offer as a school, and there's so much to take pride in as a community and as a community-based school. And I'm so proud of what we accomplished. I'm thrilled at what Melissa has accomplished, and the school has continued to thrive and even excel in all aspects under her leadership and the things that were going on and the new high school to come and everything. It really is just a continual process that really got started back, in 2016, 2017, and it continues to go on to today. And that's the cool part, to see it on that level, on that field, on that turf and in that environment, and know that a brand new press box is coming and a brand new bleachers is coming, and then eventually a brand new school altogether. It's really exciting for the community to know that there's a strong investment in Clayton High School.
Yeah, the word I use is the new Clayton High School, because the word facelift obviously definitely just doesn't use the right wording, but it's definitely great to see a lot of great things coming, and it is definitely something that's been a long time coming, and Melissa Hubbard will chat up with us about that very soon. I got one more question to ask you. We're going to go to break. We got coming up, Robbie's going to give his insight of the game. Kim Winslow will be here. Ms. Hubbard is coming up next. One of the biggest things that I've said all year, I think our Comet CRN broadcast crew has said all year, is if Clayton does not make the mistakes that they make, they could really go really far. One of the biggest things I really took notice on Friday night was the fact that they did not jump off sides so many times. Can we indulge in how that become a success on Friday?
I think it's really just an attention to the details. The credit is for the guys, the coaches. Our coaches really worked hard on stressing the fundamentals, not just jumping off sides, but playing the right way, tackling. Our tackling was much better the other night. Being in the right spot, not getting sucked into where we gave up an edge or being out leveraged. We played with better leverage on the defensive line to control the gaps. Our linebackers fit downhill versus we did a lot of the fundamental things well. Our secondary coverage was outstanding, and we didn't give up, wheel routes for touchdowns to wide open people.
That's right.
We were relying on that. So the credit goes to the players and the coaches that put in the work. And I think it was really quiet from our defense, and I said that word because it's the noise was blocked out. It was just focusing on doing what we need to do in each play. And so when our guys locked in, I told them this thing. We work too hard and we're too good to give things away.
Right.
If we make teams earn it, then we'd be amazed at what we can accomplish. And so I felt like, the first two drives at Garner the other night, besides the fumble a week ago, kind of gave things away. We weren't lined up right. We missed tackles. And I challenged them in the first quarter at Garner. I said, you got to fix it. Like we can put you in stock, but you've got to fix it. And since then, we've played 7 really, really outstanding quarters, giving up 1 touchdown. I mean, if you really want to dive into the numbers, we've given up 1 passing touchdown in the conference with our starters. 1 passing touchdown in 6 games in the conference season. We only give up 7 rushing touchdowns. So, we're holding basically teams to a touchdown a game, maybe 2. And so, if we don't give away the other stuff, if we make them earn it, we can be really, really good as a defense. And our kids did that. And so it's really a testament to them and the hard work they did. It was so satisfying to see guys like, KB getting a big sack at a big time. Amari Gibbons making big plays. Christian Schmidt, Charles Smith, getting a pick at the end. Our guys can showcase their talents when we don't give away things. That really was a cool thing. It was a team defensive effort. It certainly helps to have number 8 in there because he's pretty good. But
Keyshawn Stansel, everybody.
Yeah, but the other guys, really have stepped up and did a great job as well. And so it's.
I felt like Jordan Ham probably played his best game.
I mean, I could go right down the list. Jordan Ham was phenomenal. Tyler Williams coming over from offense to defense and was just stout in the middle. I mean, you can go right down the line of DBs to, Malachi Burt and A.K. Cramell. They were all down the list. It was a team effort. And, now the challenge for us is how do we duplicate that? How do we take that same kind of intensity and focus on details and take it with us in each game? The cool thing is I think they've got a lot of validation in that, the stuff that we work on can translate. And so let's just make it translate the next time we get out there again.
And obviously, remember, the Comets, obviously Greater Neuse River 7A champions. They have a bye week, the run for state Friday, but the Comets obviously will not play on Friday. They await either the team of the Heritage Huskies or New Hanover. And, of course, whatever the outcome of that game will be on Friday night, they will, of course, host one of those teams next Friday. Bennett Jones, round of applause, everybody. Defensive coordinator. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, Melissa Hubbard joins us on the show. Stay with us. Comets Football live weekly from Vinson's Pub and Eatery returns in a moment.
Look at you go. The one-trip grocery champ, snooze button resistor, master sock matcher. We know the daily grind can be tough, but amidst the hustle, we see you conquer it all. And at Scooter's Coffee, we believe it's the little wins that deserve some big moments of joy. So go on, embrace that tiny triumph. You master parallel parker you. Take that victory lap and savor the sweet taste of success. Scooter's Coffee, you didn't just order it, you earned it.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
All right, come here.
Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Vinson's Pub and Eatery on 800 East Main Street has been a go-to destination for the Clayton Comets community and everybody of C-Town. Vinson's Pub and Eatery takes care of all of your food and beverage needs for weekly specials, appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, the entrees, the Vinson special salads. Hey, do you like the desserts? I do too. Side desserts, delicious beverages from soda products, sweet tea, and yes, even your adult beverages. Big screen televisions cover all the action with your favorite sporting events. And the home of Comets Football Weekly every Tuesday night from Vinson's Pub and Eatery. 800 East Main Street. Tell them the Community Radio Network sent you. Vinson's Pub and Eatery. Good food, good fun, and go Comets! And that is where we are at Vinson's Pub and Eatery, 800 Main Street. Thank you so much to Angie and Caroline. And what a turnout we had for the after party, obviously, on Friday. And we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. Playoffs, the road to state begins. First time. Obviously, hopefully Clayton can put themselves in the driver's seat and go towards a state championship, something that's not been done since 1989 when they won a 2A football title under the direction of the great head coach, longtime coach, Mr. Gary Fowler. Welcome back, and ladies and gentlemen, we now bring to the program the principal of the Clayton High School. She keeps all the Comets in line. She does a phenomenal job. Show your love and make some noise for Miss Melissa Hubbard. Hello, Miss Hubbard.
Hello.
It is always good to catch up with you. At least one time out of the year, you at least pop in on the show. We appreciate you always being here. A lot of exciting things to come for Comet Country, might I add. If people don't follow social media or they haven't been reading the newspapers, some great things coming for the new Clayton High School.
Yeah, very exciting. Hopefully, we went to the commissioners yesterday morning to present the new plan. Hopefully, we'll meet back on the 17th of November for the final vote. And once that starts, the dates are given out, I think around December the 26th is when they start on the grandstands. So it'll be a brand new press box, brand new grandstands. After basketball season in March, they will be tearing down the Adams Gym. And then after that, they'll start, the whole time they're building the 3-story tower up on the hill is kind of what I call it. It's where the buses are at, the tennis courts, the softball field, all of that parking. It'll be a 2-tower admin building and then a 3-tower wing of classes, and I have a whole new gym, an aux gym. Everything now will be housed under one roof. The only structure remaining is actually the field house.
So I don't have to move my office.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically new, right?
You were the lucky one.
All of the beating and the banging and the drilling.
I'm literally the only employee in the building who doesn't have to change offices.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'm looking at the history of Clayton High School when it opened, and a lot of people don't realize this. That school has been there for a very, very long time. If people did not know, Clayton High School was established in 1901. The first graduating class was 1904. It's 2025, 2026 coming up.
Yeah. The first high school was the Clayton Center. And then they moved into the high school that we're at now. In fact, my mom was one of the first classes that graduated from there in 64.
Okay.
But she's 79, so it's old. I mean, it's been there. That was her middle school. They went to middle school there for a while before it was the high school.
Well, obviously,
she'll probably kill me that I said she's old.
I love the fact. I love the fact, Miss Hubbard, that. Listen, we've been talking for years, right, Coach? When's the new press box coming? When's this going to be done? When is this going to be done, right? I mean, we literally thought 2 years ago they were going to tear we were talking about having a barn burner, and going Facebook Live on CRN. But the thing is this, it's not just Comets football. It's the entire remanufacture of everything that's being done. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, it's about time. It really is. I mean, that school's been there for a very, very long time. Obviously, a lot of great things are in the making, and I think it's just going to build to make Clayton be what it is in the future. I mean, it took me 15 minutes because of traffic from coming down 70 from Smithfield to get here to Vinson's, because we just talk about the continued growing of the Clayton community.
I mean, it's the truth. People move to Clayton for Clayton High. I've always known that, being a Clayton resident myself, and that's where I wanted my children to go.
Right.
But even since I've been there, the conversations that parents are like, hey, we're looking at buying this house. Is it in the Clayton district? And we have to check, and we say, yeah, because they want their children to come to Clayton. I say it all the time, unless you've been a member of the Clayton community, going to Clayton, and honestly, being an employee of Clayton, you don't understand the meaning of being a Clayton Comet, the importance of that C. And I say it all the time, it's a different kind of blue, and you don't understand until you walked in those halls and you've worn it, how special it is.
If you're watching on the YouTube CRN page, you see Miss Melissa Hubbard, Coach Chadwick, myself. There is also the trophy there, and that is the Friday Night Rivals football trophy that we won from My RDC 28. Something, Melissa, that Cleveland has won on television the last couple of years, but they can't take this one away. What was your take of Friday night's game?
I cried. It's something that, I'm competitive at heart, but I love our boys. I love their dedication to the sport. I love their dedication to our school. I love the fact that how much it means to them to put on that uniform every week. And so many of them come in my office daily. And so many I told last week, you can do this. You have to. It's a mental block. It's a mental game right now. But you are the better team.
Right.
And I think that, and I have felt we were the better team
for years.
It's just not always. Sometimes the better team wins. But I will say that Friday night, the better team, the best team, and a team with class won.
Hey, y'all can make some noise. That's a great statement from her, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, she's right. And I think the mental block thing is absolutely true. I certainly felt like, I felt 2 years ago, we were both about even, and they made one more play than we did. But last year, I really felt like we were a better team. And, we just allowed the fact that, circumstances get to us last year and gave one away that we probably should have won.
Right.
And this year, I could definitely see a different vibe. I felt like during the week, a very confident vibe. And we played like that. We played very confidently. We played like the name on the front of the shirt didn't matter. And that's, I knew that's what it was going to take, that we had to get past the name on the shirt and just go play football. And we did that, and, was just really proud of the guy. The one thing I have been preaching for 3 or 4 weeks now is that, hey, could we play 4 quarters and let's just see what it looks like?
Right, the flawless
I just like to see what it looks like. I think it can be pretty good, but, we hadn't done that yet. And even against Garner, we played 3 quarters. And those 3 quarters were pretty darn good. So I thought, man, imagine if we could put 4 of these together, what it would be like, and it was pretty darn good.
Melissa, obviously, of the years past, we barricade and keep the fans, the comic crew, everybody off the field. You weren't going to keep them off the field Friday night. There was no way stopping that. That was a pretty special moment, wasn't it?
No, when I'm probably a little weaker when it comes to our children and sometimes and what they want. But our superintendent was there, our athletic director was there, and they were like, I think everybody knew it, and I think everybody was okay with it, that this was well-deserved. All we told them was don't go past the 10, and they did it.
They follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have great kids.
Yeah, the only thing they did, comic crew, was you knocked down my banner, ripped my banner. I got to get one fixed, but it's all good.
Do we need to buy you another one?
No.
So you only have 9 up now.
No, we only have 9 now. No. It was special, though, and that's exactly what I said. I said, you know what, let them tear the banners down. That's awesome that they've done that because it was a special moment for sure. And shameless plug, thank you to Gen 3 Performance Imaging and Fast Track Designs and Graphics. We probably will get a banner before the playoffs. Back to a lot of people don't realize, right, the discussion for years to build the new Clayton High School, to update the athletics facilities. What has that been like for you being the principal to finally say we're starting to see the end of the road, if you will?
It's exciting. When I first started that February of 23, they were working on supposedly doing. All of this really came out of they were supposed to have the auditorium in the bond that was from 2018.
Right.
And then budget and money wasn't there. And honestly, it was just what the school and the community was owed. And I think that through work of our commissioners, our school board, And the town really, and the community members speaking up saying, hey, you know, we were promised this auditorium and you didn't fulfill it.
Right.
And so I do commend, I cannot say enough, the commissioners have visited school numerous times in the last 2 years. They've seen, and they encouraged people yesterday, come tour the school because you will see how really old it is. It's,
Right.
you know, door frames that are not even, you know, to any kind of, I hate saying compliance, but, you know, they're so small, like if it's, they're small, they're like tiny. And people joke, it's like, is the pink bathroom still there? Because it's just so outdated, not just outdated, but it's old.
Right.
And so they have really worked hard. We've gone through a lot of designs. We've gone through tweaking. It's similar to the Wilson's Middle School, but we have made some tweaks with the design. And I will say this, working with the design team, what has made this even more special is they say they get to build high schools all the time, but they never know like what the colors are going to be, the school mascot. And they were able to do the design of this school based on the Comets. And everything in that school is a theme of like space, is about colors of the variations of our Comet blue. And do not worry, when they first showed me a blue, I said, you got to take that blue off. That is too light of a blue, and that will never be in the front office.
I got you.
And they said, yes, ma'am. I said, if you need me to get a color swatch, I will, but that one will never work. But that's what's been great, you know, in meeting with them, and when they look at, you know, the carpet schemes, it's like shooting stars. Everything, they said they've never gotten to build a high school when they knew the history.
Gotcha.
And that was so, when they could say it about the history, then you know how meaningful and powerful the history of the Clayton Comets are.
I think it's also important that, you know, Barnhill, the contractors, Marty Moser, the president, his son is in our program. He has kids at the school, so he has a vested interest as well, and I think it means something to him too.
To add on to that, it's just because there's so many people that are in the community that I think that are on board with this thing, and they're ready to see change, right? And I think one of the coolest things to take from it too is you talk about them building the new 2-3 tier school. Nothing will stop the education for the students that are there now. They're still going to be able to learn. They're still going to be able to graduate and do the things that they need to do. And then the new Clayton comes down the future.
That's right. And that's what we have been, you know, we've talked about, Coach Chadwick and I, since we've gotten together, is about, I said, you keep making us great on the field, and I'm going to continue to make us great academically.
Yeah.
And we've done that. This year we were in the top 20% in the state in academic growth out of all the schools. And that's because we got students who, honestly, they know their responsibility. And I just say all the time, I don't think there's a week or day that don't go by that I don't look at one another admin or we say walking down the hall, we have great kids.
Yeah.
We really have great kids. And it's just an honor to be there. And I'm so excited. How many people get to say they're building their own high school?
I gotta ask you one more thing. Tell us the story. The digital pylon sticks. How did that all come about? Because obviously, I know that was a fun story a couple of weeks ago. Even your dad was telling me a little bit about it. I love it.
Oh gosh, I can't tell you the way I really would tell the story because it is on the air. But my dad, and he has a lot of friends that they go to every football game. Home, away. They travel to Wilmington when we played Hogger. They are a dedicated bunch. Benny
really
can
are.
testify.
They really are.
It ain't just happened since I've been there. It was way before I got there. And their eyesight is probably not up to par. And they could not see the numbers on the damn marker. My daddy harped on me. And if you know my daddy.
Yes.
He will harp on you until you get something fixed the way he thinks it should be fixed. And so I told John, we're just going to have to buy an electronic down marker because I can't do this anymore. So, but we did, and I will say this, that he and his friends, they collected $900 that they brought to school today that we are donating to the athletic boosters. I told him not to worry, that we could take care of the down marker, but he said, no, I have, stayed on you. But that's how we got the pilot of the electronic. And then Coach Chadwick went out there one day. He fixed the
the play clocks.
The play clock, and we were just rolling in electronics.
There you go. A lot of great things to come.
Got to thank Johnny in my my second block class.
Melissa Hubbard, thank you. Final question. Obviously, football ready to go to the playoffs. Are you excited for it and ready to see what Clayton can do Friday night next week?
Oh, I am, and I know and I said it early on, we aren't done yet, and I know we are going to go far. Coach Chad and I talked about it. We were waiting to see that perfect game, and we were near perfect Friday night, and that should show them what they're capable of because they truly are the best team.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your love to Melissa Hubbard, principal of Clayton. Thank you, Miss Hubbard. We appreciate it so much. Obviously, Kevin is here. Me and him used to work together a lot during the baseball seasons when he was doing the PA announcing. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to bring Kim is ready, right? She's got questions. She's got a notepad. Yes? You want to save you for another segment? Robbie, you want to come up here? Robbie's going to join us. Kim will be coming up in a minute. Let her get some lunch. She's been on a plane. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Melissa Hubbard. We're taking a break. More Comets Football Weekly from Vinson's Pub+Eatery after the break.
Jim, what is that? That looks like...
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now, I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Dubby Energy provides high-quality energy drinks with a blend of natural ingredients, ensuring a clean and effective energy boost without the crash later or even the jitters. Dubby Energy is committed to helping individuals stay energized and perform at their best. When you need to have a little energy boost without all the lag or fatigue, let Dubby Energy take care of your body today. Use the promo code CRN for 10% off of your order every time. Dubby Energy. Eastern Technical Design Incorporated provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. These drawings include all the necessary structural, building, plumbing, and mechanical electrical plans as required to produce and deliver a finished building and/or structure. This company is proudly owned by LFRL's Tracy Brown. Eastern Technical Design. Contact them today at 252-245-1599 or email them at easterntechnicaldesign@gmail.com. Commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Eastern Technical Design is the perfect plan for your building needs. Hey, it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Clayton Comets on the Community Radio Network. We are excited for a new broadcasting season, and Vinson's Pub+Eatery is on board for another year. Located at 800 East Main Street in Clayton, Vinson's Pub+Eatery is the hotspot location every Tuesday night from August to November on the road to a state championship with Comets Football Weekly. Join Coach Scott Chadwick and myself, other CRN colleagues, dignitaries, the players, the coaches, the insight to the game before Friday Night Lights. Vinson's Pub+Eatery is where you need to be every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Comets Football Weekly. We're looking forward to having it live on the radio as always at wearecrn.com, but nothing compares to seeing it in person. Comets Football Weekly, CRN, Tuesday, Vinson's Pub+Eatery. Join us. And we are live with Comets Football Weekly, Vinson's Pub+Eatery. Y'all make some noise. You having a good time? Oh, everything. I need to set up a crowd mic. I don't think we've done that. Coach is back. Coach Scott Chadwick. And ladies and gentlemen, It is time!
It's time!
To introduce the PA voice and our away game broadcast man on the Community Radio Network, Mr. Robbie Morrell. Robbie, oh boy. What a night, Friday night, man. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely, Wesley. And we talked about it going in. It was an electric atmosphere. You know, we were looking for the words, you know, energy and whatever it was. But, I mean, what you saw down on the field was just absolutely amazing. What the kids did, I think they turned the corner, Coach, you know, when you look at it. Because, like you said, they played a perfect game. From the stands, you know, from the box, we see much better tackling, better coverage in areas. Coach Jones and his staff did an amazing job getting everything ready, and you know, you guys were just fully prepared, I believe.
Yeah, I felt good going in. It wasn't a lot I was totally sure of, but the one thing I felt really good about going in I felt like we were gonna play good defense. I really did. I really thought that we'd had a good week. I wish I could show you the book report that Eddie Price delivered on Sunday to the staff of all the film he had watched. It was literally a Pulitzer Prize scouting report on everything, and so I felt like we were prepared. I thought everybody had a good week of practice. One of the days when I really thought, okay, we're going to be ready was back Tuesday. So if you remember what last Tuesday was like, I think we were here. It was about 45 degrees.
Yes.
It was nasty. It was raining. And we were trying to decide what we were going to do from a practice standpoint. And so we met as coaches at like 2:30. And I just said, you know what? We have turf. They don't. They're going to have to go in the gym today. They probably couldn't have gotten out Monday. I said, the one advantage we have is that we have turf. Let's just go out, go as long as we can, and just get as much done as we can until it becomes too nasty out. So we had the coaches meeting. The kids were in the locker room waiting for us to tell them what to do, whether we were going to go, because they had their tennis shoes to go in the gym, whatever it was. And I walked in the locker room and I said, all right, you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I want y'all to go ahead and get dressed, put all your gear on, put your warm clothes on, put your girdles on. We're going to go outside. And I expected to get about 70 looks of, is this guy nuts? And instead I got a rousing cheer, like, let's go,
Nice.
And I went back in the coach's office. It was so loud when I went in. I went back to the coach. The coach was like, did you tell him to go home? And I was like, no. I told him to get dressed. Let's go. We're going to practice. And we went out, and for probably 90 minutes in rain that was sideways and wind blowing. I mean, we had a great practice.
Yeah.
And when we left that day, I thought, you know what? I think we got a shot at this thing now, because those guys were ready. We had a great practice on Thursday. So I'm not surprised at how we played, because that's how we practiced all week.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And when you look at it, you look at playing the total game, and like you said earlier, I think Jordan Ham played an outstanding and one of his best ball games of the year from what we've seen up top. But what I also saw from the offensive side was there was a lot of good decision making from Aiden, and not having Terrence. So it was kind of, okay, what do we do now? But I think Aiden was very decisive with the football. Very, very matter of fact in what we did. Noah ran hard, even though they filled every gap in the middle. They tried to stop one dimension every game and tried to get two to beat you with his arm. And I think it was able to, because he was able to find each level of the field. What do you think?
Well, I mean, that's what Aiden's done all year. I mean, you look at numbers. Numbers don't lie, and I think he's turned the ball over maybe 3 or 4 times all season. He's protected the ball great all year. It's one of the things I always emphasize with my quarterbacks is to protect the football, and I think he's done a great job of that. He doesn't throw it in harm's way. He protects it when he runs. So I'm not surprised by that at all. But I did tell him during the week, look, man, we're gonna need you to make some plays. We're gonna need you to make a couple of plays. We always felt like the biggest thing we felt like was that when we were on offense, we had the best player on the field with Aiden. And we were on defense, we felt like we had the best player on the field with Keyshawn. And we needed those two guys to make some plays. And both of them did. And in Keyshawn's case, everybody else kind of followed along.
Yeah.
And certainly in Aiden's case, Parker Ferguson, made a couple of tremendous plays. Tyler Campbell with the big 4th down pass reception for the touchdown. So, he had a lot of guys that stepped up and made plays as well. And, again, it wasn't our best offensive night. And a lot of that was just because of the people we were missing. And they're pretty good on defense. I mean, you got to give them credit, too. They're a very, very good defensive football team. But like I said, we pushed the runs across when we needed to. And, I was just really, really proud of the whole week and how we handled it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. I was able, in pregame while we were getting everything set up, I actually went down to the locker room, down by the concession. There was 6 or 8 of the kids who were standing at the door, and they were just itching to get on the field. You could just, I want to go. So I had an opportunity to just talk to them for just a second and said, hey, guys, take care of your brother. One guy makes a mistake, it's okay. There's 10 more out on the field with you. And they all just seemed to buy in. They all just said, we got it. We got him, And it was, hey, if somebody loses his cool, you got to pick him up. You got to make him stay calm, stay within that moment. And it looks like it just happened for 48 full minutes the other night.
It did. And it's, again, it's stuff that we preach all the time, stuff we've been preaching for months and months. And every now and then I'll look at them and I'll be like, man, you guys are actually listening. You guys are actually hearing, what I'm saying. And, and every now and then I'll hear their interviews and they'll repeat stuff that I've said. And I'm like, all right, so they are kind of listening.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't go in one, come out the other.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder, but every now and then you get the messages that let you know that they are listening.
Yeah. So what do we know, Coach? I know we got 2 weeks. We got a bye. Are you going to go see anybody play this weekend? You going to watch the game down there?
Yeah, we'll have a crew down at New Hanover to see the Heritage New Hanover game, and we've already kind of tried to start preparing a little bit and try to get an idea of what we think might happen. It's I got asked today by a reporter was doing a story on bye weeks and whether you like them or not, and I think it really honestly depends on the year and the situation. There are some times where you'd rather just keep right on playing and go. And then there are other years like this where I'm okay with the bye this week.
Let's get healed up.
Yeah, we're very, very injured right now. We need the bye week for that, number one. And number two, that was a very emotional, night. And I don't care who we would be playing this week. It would be a little bit probably hard to turn right back around. It would have been really hard over this past weekend to be game planning, coming right off of that, especially since I spent 6 hours in the urgent care on Sunday. But, so I know there's a school of thought that after you play like that, you want to keep playing and have the momentum. But we'll be fine next Friday. We'll be able to get it started and we'll be ready.
Yeah. Well, everybody talks about, small town football. Melissa brought it up, Dr. Hubbard, and you've talked about it. Coach Jones talked about it. My son played here. My daughter came to school here 15 years ago. So I'm a Comet as well. But, when you go from a town like Charlotte and you come to this small community, Clayton, and all of a sudden there's 4, 5, 6 high schools, but we're still in the middle of the town. Tell me some of the differences that you've found from being from, Myers Park, coming to Clayton, North Carolina.
Well, I'm from a small town like this, and I coached in my hometown in Maryland, and this is extremely similar to that situation. And, it was one of the reasons why, being in Myers Park was kind of a small part of, its own little area in Charlotte, but it was still part of a, huge school system. And it was one of the reasons why when I was, looking to get back here and looking to get places, I was not going back to a big school system. One of the reasons obviously I came here is the number of, extended family I have here. And they sent me every possible job that opened up in Wake County. And I kept telling them, I'm not going to Wake County, so you can stop sending me jobs there. I'm not going to, a big school system. I'm not going to that. And obviously this was a perfect fit. And, one of these days, Ben and I got to tell the story of our first ever conversation when he told me how all this stuff, and I'm like, man, that sounds like a great job. And then he told me he'd already offered it to somebody else, and I'm like, what the?
Thanks for coming out.
Well, yeah, I'm like, what the heck are we having this conversation for then? And of course, I don't know. I'll share one detail about it. I didn't know that after him and I had a 2-hour conversation, I didn't know that he was at home, and he looked over at Jennifer and said, yeah, I got to get out of this deal with that other guy. I got to hire this guy. So, of course, he didn't tell me that for like 4 days, so I'm sitting up there in Maryland trying to get the heck out of there. But yeah, but that was obviously this being a town, the school being the town school, in a place that cares about football. I would say it was the number one drawing card for me to come here. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be in a place where the town, and it's one of the things our kids will tell you. I played for them back in August. There was a podcast. These two former NFL guys have a podcast, Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. They have their own podcast, and they had Greg Olson on the podcast. And Greg Olson was talking about high school football. And these are three guys that played combined probably 30 years in the NFL. And the three of them talked about how high school football was the greatest. And Greg Olson said, if you are lucky enough to play where your school is the town, where you play for the school, your school is the town.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough to play in that situation, you've got it made. And you need to understand how fortunate you are if you get to play in a small town where, high school football is what it is. And I played that, and I show that to our kids to make them understand, just how fortunate they are to have what we have here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know on Friday we had some issues with the PA, so you couldn't actually get all of me out there. So, and first thing you said to me,
I don't hear you during the game.
Well, good, because
Robbie.
first thing you said to me coming in, you're like, Robbie should be saying it's third down or something.
No, that's true. There was one point where I'm like, can we get off at least third down? Where's Robbie? Why isn't he yelling third down?
Well, Coach, just so that you know, the PA was a little messed up. We vowed to get it right, but I did come down out of the press box and run the stands and got Clayton comments going in the stands. So we tried to do a little liven up as we could. But Coach, it's an honor for me to be able to chat with you. For us as a town, I know, like I said, I like to talk about culture change, and that word backward is erutluck. Erutluck. So if you turn it around and you make culture change, you're turning that word around. So you've definitely changed the culture here of what we're going. It's going in a great direction. And I know that we're all very, very proud to have you here as our head coach. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Robbie, we appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I know you're ready for the playoffs, aren't you, my friend?
Absolutely. I cannot wait. It'll be exciting, to have.
And we're going to have your mic again for you on the sideline.
I look forward to it.
And the lapel mic for the referee worked. I promise you it worked. Believe me, I found out personally Friday afternoon. It worked. We just, they turned the volume down over there, but we'll fix it and we'll make it right. I want to say thanks again to Coach Byron Smith. We worked together feverishly on that because we want to make it an entertainment experience.
Absolutely.
And obviously the music and the sound effects and the hype, but we got to have the pipes of Robbie Burrell.
We got to have somebody to call out numbers and downs and distance with the new lit down marker. So
yes, I love it.
But yeah, it's going to be an exciting 4 or 5 weeks for us moving forward. Coach, if I'm not mistaken, we should be, if we continue to win, at home until the 4th round, correct?
We talked about that yesterday.
If we are fortunate enough to win, we're guaranteed to be home for, obviously the first round.
Yeah, first round.
And then the second round, the third round. The 4th round would depend on a couple of other.
Other schools playing. I didn't know if that was one more after, because I was looking at the schedule. It's obviously Heritage, New Hanover. And then it may be Conley. Is Conley wins on the other side or whatever?
Conley's on that, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't looked that far ahead.
Yeah. So we're obviously excited about it. We want to be here for 3 or 4 more weeks, so let's rock and roll, and get the job done.
Let's do it. Let's mess up everybody's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your love to Robbie Burrell. And just let Miss Kim Winslow come on up here right now. She's our lead All-State sideline reporter. She's going to be grabbing a word with the coach for our All-State Picking the Coaches segment here. And before we do that, here's a quick word from All-State. Kim Winslow is next.
I'm your football obsessed best man. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all OMG. Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
And I want to say a big thank you to Brad Thompson and all the fine folks that are behind what they do with Allstate. My friend there in Wayne County, Wilson, Wayne, Wake, Johnston. Contact your Allstate agent today for a home, auto, life. Charles Smith's in the house. Everybody give a round of applause to Charles Smith. Interception of the game on Friday. And then he turns around and he puts on a Jason Voorhees mask. I love it. Halloween night. Jason Voorhees was Mr. Charles Smith and Tyler Campbell was Michael Myers, obviously. And ladies and gentlemen, fresh in from the work and her trip, and literally the plane landed and she hightailed it here. Kim Winslow, how you doing, ma'am? What a great Halloween weekend.
Hey, I'm still celebrating. I'm on a winning streak right now.
Yes!
Comets winning on Friday. NC State football winning. Big win on Saturday. Panthers win on Sunday.
Carolina beat Green Bay. Oh, come on.
NC State men win last night with a sold-out crowd. NC State women won today with an upset over a ranked team. So I'm a winner.
There you go.
I'm a winner.
There you go. Like, what's that song by Jamie Foxx? You're looking at a winner? There you go.
But you know what? Going into this week, I always ask, whether it's coaches, players, etc., how you feel. How you feel about this week? And every year, I feel good. I feel good. But this year, it was something different. There was a different conviction in the way people felt this week. Did you feel that, Coach, coming in on Friday? Like, there was a different kind of confidence this week.
I did. I definitely felt like that. Felt like that, like I said earlier, that I think we were confident because of our preparation. I think our preparation made us confident. And, particularly, like I said, defensively with the job that that Bennett and Eddie and the rest of the staff there, I think those guys, the staff, instilled confidence in our kids because of how prepared they were. And I think they felt like when they took the field that there wasn't going to be anything that they couldn't handle. And offensively, it was just a matter of, trying to, again, find the right 11 guys to put out there at times because, it was tough. We were missing. I don't think people quite understand the importance that River Fiore is to our offense. And with him, he didn't practice one day last week. And like I said, he gutted it out on Friday enough that, we could get some things done. And the other part of River being out is our second tight end is Michael Alvarez, who had tore his ACL in the Garner game the week before. So, that's what made that, even worse. And then, obviously without our center, Wes and Barth, Terrace is our big play guy. He's the guy you count on other than Aiden to make the big play. So, we had to find some other ways to move the ball, which we did. Noah contributed, Aiden contributed. Carson came in and completed, a couple of balls, one of which to Braden Price, the third tight end. Carson hits him on what was a huge third down conversion on I guess that was the second touchdown drive. So we had some different guys contribute. And again, but no matter what, no matter who was out, no matter what went on during the week, I definitely felt there was a real sense of confidence in what we were going to do on Friday.
Well, you just mentioned part of that drive, and I was thinking, what was the drive of the game? And there's two drives I couldn't decide, so I wanted to kind of recap them both of them in the second half. In the third quarter, obviously the Clayton starts on our 19-yard line. We have a huge 3rd and 12 from the Comets 17. You just mentioned Carson with a huge pass and conversion to Braden Price, and I wanted to shout that out because on the broadcast, a different number was credited with that, but I wanted to make sure it was number 26, Braden Price, for that 22-yard gain. keeps the drive alive. Then Aiden Smalls has a 15-yard run, gets slung on the sidelines, gets that personal foul penalty, moves it up another 15 yards. Then
let me say something about that, too. He got thrown down pretty violently, well out of bounds on our sidelines.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And our kids, to their credit, now they ran over there and they,
they were going to stick up for their guy.
Up for him, but nobody did anything that,
retaliatory.
Exactly. And so we got the 15 yards out of it, whereas, a lot of places, kids are going to react in a way that it's going to take away the 15, they're going to offset the 15 yards. So I thought that was a big play right there that they went over there and they stuck up for their guy, but we also made sure that we were going to keep the 15 yards too.
Well, speaking of that 15-yard, then it was followed by a 15-yard pass interference penalty. So Comets gained 30 yards on penalties, but it comes up to a 4th down. And
Fourth and 5.
And you decide to go for it. Is that because of the performance that the defense had that you knew, either one, we are going to get this, or our defense is going to hold them if we don't?
Well, there was a lot that went into it. Did you watch the other time we kicked a field goal?
Yes. Well, that's we'll talk about special teams in a little bit.
That was.
But that's what I mean. So you know the option with that. That wasn't an option.
That was part of the decision.
So it was either we go for it and we trust our defense if we don't get it.
If we didn't get it, we were inside the 15-yard line. So we were going to have them backed up. I didn't. I just wasn't confident in our operation at that point. And then, when we lined up, didn't have a great, honestly, for what the defense they were in, we didn't have a great play call. But I looked up and Aiden's changing the play. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to roll with it because if he's changing it, he's got an idea of what he wants to do. And instead of calling timeout, I said, hey, let's roll with it. And
he got that decisive play, threw it right to Tyler Campbell.
And it ended up being a great call on his part to change it. And he made if you look from the TV view from the back of the end zone, boy, that thing was like he squeezed that thing in there. And Tyler made a great catch. And so, the third touchdown was obviously huge because it really kind of put the game away. But
we'll talk about that drive.
That touchdown there, to give us the 2-score lead, I think everybody kind of breathed a little bit there.
Well, and it was an 81-yard drive.
Yes, it was.
That was huge. Then we start the fourth quarter, and essentially start at the end of the third quarter, goes into the fourth quarter. Comets start out on our own 38. Huge 20-yard pass from Aiden to Parker Ferguson. That kind of gets the drive going. The previous drive had been aided by some penalties, but this drive, it was all Comet offense. You had the 20-yard pass from Aiden to Parker Ferguson, a 17-yard run from number 2, Aiden Smalls. And mind you, he earned that run. With those head fakes, he broke a couple ankles over there, Aiden.
Left a guy on the ground.
Yes, he did. He earned that. He fought for those. Then a 19-yard run from number 1, Noah Smith. Noah's sitting over there.
Yep.
Earned that. And then I want to know, on one of the next plays, there was a pass into the end zone to Parker Ferguson. They call pass interference, which it was, but it certainly looked like, one, Parker caught the ball. His feet were in bounds.
Yes.
From another angle, did he come down with that ball?
You look at the TV version.
Very good. You can't tell if his elbow hit, but heck of a play by Parker Ferguson. It could have been a touchdown.
The guy on their sidelines, he's a good official. But I think what happened there, he was so intent on throwing the flag.
Yes, he was focused on the flag.
He took his eyes off the rest of the play. And he didn't see that Parker actually caught the ball.
Yep. And that's why I want to give credit to Parker, because that looked like a hell of a catch. Could have been a touchdown. Yeah. Regardless, so you think, oh goodness. Gets to 3rd and goal. Aiden drops back to pass, scrambles out to the right. It looks like he's going to get stopped on the 4-yard line. I was right on the sideline, and he willed his way into the end zone.
Yeah, and I've been telling him all game, hey, don't be afraid to use your legs. Matter of fact, the pass to Parker on that drive, I'm over on the sidelines going, run, run, run. Nice catch, Parker.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his he's a weapon when he runs, so we're always fine